Welcome back. Let's talk about the research discussion board assignments. So the way to access the research discussion board is to go to assignments and scroll down through the different assignments until you get to research discussion board. Click on the link and it will take you to the board. So for the first discussion board assignment, let's take a look at what you're going to do for that. So we're going to start where pretty much everybody starts, with getting answers to their questions. They're the deep, probing, mysterious questions in life. We're going to ask Google. I'm going to start with what you already are probably pretty familiar with. So because all good research starts with a question, that's what you're going to do. You're going to come up with a question about any topic you want. Really, anything you want. Sky's the limit. It should be something you do not know the answer to already, because why would you ask a question that you already know the answer to, or think you know the answer to, on something you're genuinely curious about. It should probably start with one of the 6 journalistic openers: the who, what, when, why, where, how topic. Now, keep in mind that this question is going to form the basis of the research report project that you're going to be working on for the coming weeks. So the other discussion boards, there are 5 total. Each one's worth 20 points. So they add up to as much as the essay itself. So just keep that in mind. Not a good idea to skip them. You're going to do an oral presentation on your topic as well. And of course, there's the essay itself. So it's probably going to change over the course of the project, and that's okay. But it should start out fairly broad and result in a lot of information. So in other words, essay worthy. So for example, the question of what year did Elvis die? Not really a broad question. You're probably just going to get one answer to that, unless you're one of those people who thinks that he didn't actually die. Neither is where did Elvis die. Again, that's going to be pretty narrow. I can tell you right now, Graceland, on his toilet, unless of course you're one of those people who thinks that he didn't. So why did he die, or how did he die, or why do so many people think Elvis is still alive? What's up with that? On the other hand, that would be much broader, and you'd get a lot more information out of those questions. So just keep that in mind. Now, once you figure out what question you want to ask, you're going to Google it. You're going to put it into Google in the search, and you're going to ask Google the question. And then you're going to pick one of the results, one of the links from the first page of results. Because really, how often do you go past the first page of results? You might go, if you're desperate, you might go to like the second or third, but most people don't go too far past the first page. And it cannot be Wikipedia. Not because you're not going to be allowed to use Wikipedia per se, but because the second discussion board is going to be based on the Wikipedia article on your topic. So yeah, just hold off on that. So once you've decided which one you want to read, you're going to go to the site's article and you're going to read it, and you're going to then post to the discussion board with the following. It's really important that you do each one of these things. So you're going to tell us the name of the website. So not the URL necessarily, but like the actual name of the website. So it might be about.com or CNN or I don't know, whatever the name of the website is. And then also the title of the article. That should be at the top of the page. So like Elvis is alive or whatever that the website provides. And if there's an author named, usually that'll be at the top or the bottom of the article. If there is an author named, tell us the name of the author. And then give us a summary of what you learned in response to your question. So a summary, as you probably guess, is pretty brief compared to the original source. So it should not be as, we want the gist basically. Do not give us like as in-depth of an answer as you get from the source itself, because if we wanted that, we would go to the source ourselves. We don't want that. We want the quick and dirty version. Then you're going to tell us, how trustworthy does the source seem to you? Like, what's your gut telling you about how reliable the source seems to you? Maybe you could look into who the author is, if that information is provided. Maybe you can, what's their credentials, I guess. Maybe the appearance of the page looks professional, or who knows. Or maybe it looks pretty fishy. So what about it seems fishy to you or seems reliable to you? So just kind of go with, I guess, what you would normally do when evaluating whether you feel like you could trust an internet source. I imagine you guys probably do that pretty often, or at least I hope you do. I hope you don't believe everything you read on the internet. Step 4. Okay, so once you've done that, you need to reply to somebody else's post. And I'm going to show you guys how to post and reply. The reply should be pretty substantive. You need to leave an actual comment, and it should be regarding what they talked about in their post. So it should show that you read their post thoroughly, you paid attention while you're reading, and then you've got something to offer in return. So what I'm not looking for from you is like, great post, smiley face kind of thing. That's not a comment, that's a Facebook like. So it should be more like a conversation. In the word count for it needs to be at least 200 words. That's for the whole thing, your post and your reply, or replies. You might have like a 100-word post and then 2 50-word replies, or a 150-word post and one 50-word reply. As long as it adds up to 200 words at least, then you're fine. Okay? This is really important. Make sure to title your post whatever question you asked of Google, and I'm going to show you guys where you need to enter that in. That's really important because that's what other people are going to see on the board, and that's basically the link that they're going to click on to read your post. So I want to show you guys some examples from one of my classes last semester, so you can see some of the questions that they asked. Let's take a look. So when you're ready to actually go onto the board and see what other people have posted, you're going to click on the link here that says Research Discussion Board, and it will take you to the board itself, and you'll be able to see other people's posts, unless you're the first person to post, of course. So for example, last semester we had, what is AIDS? How did ISIS form? Is there an addiction gene? How does the YMCA help the community? That would be my cat playing with his ball on the floor. That's what that noisy sound is. What are the long-term effects of child sexual molestation? Why are people afraid of the dark? What is shopping addiction? How does sleep affect weight loss? What is fibromyalgia? As you can see here, Kayla did not follow instructions and have the question she asked as her title, so that's why it's important to do that. What is buffer? What if we lost our moon? How has Miley Cyrus influenced the feminist movement? Okay. What was the importance of the hippie counterculture? How do solar panels generate electricity? What is Ebola? That was actually a really popular topic last semester because, as I'm sure you probably remember, that's when the whole Ebola scare was happening. How do video games affect your brain? So these are just a few examples. Let's talk about how to post. So when you're ready, the way that you post to the discussion board is you're going to click up here where it says Create Thread. Click that button. And it'll take you back to the instructions. So, if you need to refer back to them to make sure that you're answering all the questions that I asked you, you can. Right here where it says subject, that's where you're going to put the question that you ask Google. That's going to be the link that comes up for people to see. And then here in the text box is where you're going to put your post. You're going to type it directly in rather than submitting it as an attachment. Notice that there is a spell check up here where it says ABC. Please run the spell check as a courtesy to your readers. There's also a word count feature at the bottom so that you can keep track of your how many words you got if you're concerned about making the word count. And when you're ready, you just come down here and click submit, and it'll post to the board. I've set it up so that folks can go back and edit their posts if they need to. If you forgot to mention something or you notice some error with what you wrote, you do not need to create a new post. Please don't. That's confusing to people. You can just go into your post, click on open it up, and there will be an edit button that you can use to make any edits that you need to. Okay. So let's take a look at the grade form that I use for the discussion board assignments, because there's a timeliness category that it's important we discuss since you've got your first 2 discussion boards due Tuesday. So you should be able to access this in My Grades. I have to go and find it a different way, so just bear with me. So here's the rubric that I use. It's 20 points for each board, like I said. To get the full 10 points for content, you answered all of my questions, you completed all parts of the assignment that you were asked to complete, and you were thorough and substantive about it. There's a lot of good insight and content available. With the next category, going down, the good, 7 out of 10. You answered all my questions. Maybe you could have been a little bit more in depth, a little skimpy, which goes to 5 points if folks don't answer all the questions. Maybe you only answered 2 out of 3. Which goes down to, okay, well, if you didn't do most of what I asked you to, if you talked about, everything except what I asked you to, then you get 3 out of 10. Timeliness. So this is important because folks need time to reply to each other's posts. Okay? For that reason, to get the full points for the timeliness category, to get all 5 out of 5, you actually need to post early. Right. Now you can reply anytime before the due date to somebody else, but you need to post early, at least 24 hours before the due date, meaning in this case Monday by 11:59 p.m. in order to get the full 5 points. So that way folks aren't all trying to post at the last minute, which probably shut Blackboard down, but also folks won't have anyone to reply to and it'll be chaos. So to get the full 5 points, that's what you have to do, which goes down to 4 if you post within 12 hours of the due date, 3 if it's within 2 hours, and then if you post by the due date but you really didn't leave enough time for your peers to actually read and reply, like within half an hour of the due date, then you only get 1 out of 5. For your peer response, to get 5 out of 5 for that, you showed an excellent understanding of your peers' contribution, right, their post, and you had a substantial and helpful response to them. So you might give them some more things to think about their topic. You might have some ideas for ways they could narrow or focus the topic, some ideas about where they might find source material, questions for them, who knows. Okay? Which goes down to, okay, it shows that you read and you understood what they wrote, and it's fine. Which goes down to Facebook like, right? Just great post, didn't really show any actual understanding of what they wrote, pretty skimpy. And of course, if you don't reply to anyone, you don't get any points, which makes sense, right? So that's discussion board number 1, okay? And I'm very quickly going to show you discussion board number 2, which is also due Tuesday by 11:59. Sorry, I hate to give you 2 things due, but what are you going to do? So for the second one, which you should do after the first one, I hope that kind of goes without saying, you are going to look up your topic in Wikipedia, okay? And if you don't know how to get to Wikipedia, you can click on the link here and it'll take you there. So based on the question that you Googled, you're going to come up with a topic to focus on for the report, and you're going to look it up on Wikipedia. You can't ask Wikipedia questions. Nothing will come up. It doesn't do that. It's not like Google in that way. So you'd have to take that question, like how did Elvis die, and then derive a topic from that. So just like Elvis Presley, okay? And then you're going to briefly summarize what were the general contents of the article on your topic, okay, what did it cover, and even more importantly, what did it have to say in regards to that question that you asked? What was its answer to your question? And then how does that compare to your Google search result? Is it, what was similar about it? What was different? Did Wikipedia go into more depth and detail? Did it go into less? Did it seem, what was similar or different about it? So that's an important part of source evaluation is, checking to see if things match up. If what your initial Google search result yielded to you, like if you can't find that same information anywhere else, then that probably means that it's a little bit suspicious. So maybe it'll be a better result than your first one, maybe it won't. Only one way to find out, right? So a little bit shorter than the first one, at least 150 words total. That's for your post and your reply to someone else. Again, you have to reply to somebody else's post. What you say in that comment is up to you, but the parameters on that. You're going to type it directly into the text box, and make sure to title your post whatever you looked up in Wikipedia. So like Elvis Presley. Ooh, I misspelled his last name. Sorry, Elvis. And I'm going to be using the same grade form for this as the first one. So again, to get the full points for timeliness, you need to post to this board as well by Monday by 11:59. Okay, and if you have any questions about these assignments, please don't hesitate to email me, and I will see you guys hopefully on Tuesday. All right, thanks.